Welcome to another 30-minute marketing hack. My name is Bob Clark. Come to you almost every Thursday here to bring what's working for me, the wisdom that I've gained over the years. I've been doing this in the home business space for over 16 years now. Tonight, we're going to talk about success, the three skills that I believe lead to success. Right? Before I do that, as always, I try and keep you guys in the loop about live, in-person events or virtual events that I think would be very valuable to you because there's so much stuff out there. It's really hard to filter. And I know when I was working full time, I really liked it when somebody who I knew and respected would guide me into what was good what to attend and what was probably not necessary. And I didn't have a lot of time. And I think a lot of you guys are in that same boat. Most of you guys know that there's only a handful of people that I follow and that I listen to. Mark Harbert, Jordan Maley, Kim Ward, those are just three of them, Ray Higdon, Diane Hockman. Those are probably my top ones that I listen to right now. There are other good trainers too. I'm not putting anybody else down, but for me, it's my top five. And if I added my sixth one in, it would be this guy, Ryan Lee. A lot of you guys probably have not heard of Ryan Lee, but Ryan has been in the business arena way longer than me. He's built multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses. He's had physical businesses. He's had digital businesses. And my friend Vanessa actually told me about him a few years back. And I immediately loved his style. He's from New York. So he's going to get that New York jive going on. And he just teaches simple, everything broken down into the most simplest of components. And I love that. He makes everything seem easy. He's doing a boot camp for free, a 9-day boot camp from April 16th to 24 called Second Act Boot Camp. Now, for many of you guys, you're like me, your business is your second act, right? Your first act was in the earlier parts of your life. Maybe it was raising a family, maybe it was your job, but that was the first act. And now we're coming along, and this is our second act. It certainly is for me. And that's where this boot camp is going. And he's going to talk a lot about the fundamentals of business, a lot about traffic and funnels, but in the simplistic way that he does it. I really think you guys will love it. Again, it's free. You can grab it over at bobandroseberry.com/second act. I'll put the link in the comments so you have it. I highly recommend it. I'll be there. There is an upsell if you want to grab it, but you don't have to. It's free for you if you want it. So let's talk about what I call the success triad. The three skills you really must master if you want to succeed in your home business. And there's, along with the three skills, there's three things that you really need to avoid that go with that. I'm going to break it down for you tonight. So here's the thing. I got an email from a new subscriber. She's over 60 and she wants to start a business. She likes Pinterest a lot and what's possible for her. And my answer was that really anything is possible. Forget the age part of it. Okay. But if you love something, if you love to do something, and if it can be monetized, you can start a business around it. And you can either go your own business, like really building from the foundations up, or you can do what a lot of us do, is get into a business that's already around, like a network marketing business or an affiliate marketing company, a training company, something like that. A lot of us find it easier to do that rather than trying to start from scratch. But really, you can do anything you want if you can master the three skills that I'm about to talk to you about tonight. So these skills, the business model doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a network marketer, affiliate marketer. None of that stuff matters. It doesn't matter if you really love video, if you don't love video. It doesn't matter if you love Pinterest. It doesn't matter if you're in e-commerce. It doesn't matter what you're doing. These three skills go across all platforms, all strategies, everything. Okay, I've alluded to them in the past, but I want to talk to you about them in a different way tonight that I think might resonate with you and really show you the importance of them. Okay, so I call it the success triad because there's three. There's three kind of skills, and I call them skills because they are skills, and most people don't think of them as skills, but they are. So the way I've depicted this on the screen here, it's like a seesaw, okay, where you have the seesaw kind of horizontal here, you have the fulcrum in the middle, and it's a scale 1 to 10, right? Over here, focus. This is your goal. The opposite of focus is distraction. Right now, I've done entire trainings on focus and distraction. But here's the thing. If you're distracted, you can't be focused. If you're focused, you're not distracted. They are opposites. They're polar opposites. And what your goal is here is to minimize your distractions as much as you can. It's impossible to eliminate them. There's just too many distractions out there in the world right now. But focus is your goal. Focus on what? I've talked a lot about what is known out there as the power of one, focusing on one offer to one niche, using one marketing platform, with one main coach or trainer that you listen to concerning that offer, and for a period of 1 year. That's the baseline, right? But still, let's go deeper, because what do you focus on? On a daily basis, what do you focus on? So some of you guys are on my mailing list, may have come through my lead magnet, which is the stupid simple daily action guide for part-time entrepreneurs. Some of you guys got my ebook as a lead magnet. Maybe you got it a long time ago, you don't remember it. I just finished totally rewriting it because I've gained so much more clarity around this subject in the last 3 years from when I wrote it the first time. But the reason I bring it up is I talk a lot about their focus, and it's what do you focus on every day? You're focusing in on that one activity, right? That one activity that will have the most impact on your business that day. Okay, I call it the most impactful activity, the MIA. And it's different depending on what your business model is, depending on what your level of experience is, and depending on what you're currently working on. Okay, so it can change every day, or it can be the same every day, depending on where you are in your business. But that's your goal. The goal is focus on your most impactful activity every day. And if you can get it done every day, you will see success. You'll move the needle on your business. Now, will you make 6 figures, 7 figures? You could. I think you probably need to do more than just the one activity every day. But if that's where you are right now in your business, doing that will move your business forward and you'll get results. That's how important that is. So in the ebook that I have to rewrite, it goes really in detail. I give you lots of examples, and I think you'll really like it. Okay, so focus your goal. Focus on the most impactful activity every single day. That's your goal. The second skill that you need to learn in the success triad is implementation. The opposite of implementation is procrastination. If you're procrastinating, you're not implementing. If you're implementing, you're not procrastinating, right? Opposites. Your goal is to implement as much as possible in your business. Now, I told this story before, but for you guys who are new, and maybe other guys who have forgotten it, I'm going to tell it again. So when I first came on the scene back in 2008, I knew nothing about business. Right? I knew nothing about marketing. So I knew I needed to learn. So I'm not kidding you guys. For over 3 years, I would say 5 nights a week, I was on webinars, learning, taking notes, filling up notebooks, right? Back then, webinars were the big thing, right? Everybody was doing a webinar. And I would be on webinars 5, maybe even 6 nights a week, learning. Trouble was, I wasn't doing anything. I was learning. So I was becoming educated, smart, if you would, not street smart, but smart. So I was becoming smart, but I wasn't doing anything. And as a result, how much money do you think I made in those 3 years? So I might have made a few pity sales from my family because I was in network marketing. So I might have made a couple of pity sales, but for my own real sales, nothing, 0. Okay. So your goal is to implement as much as possible. How do you do that? How do you get yourself out of it? It's 100%. It's goals and deadlines, right? Goals and deadlines. So you got to make it with yourself. Okay, I'm going to go on this training, right? But I'm not going to go on another training until I do something with what I learned. You got to make that deal with yourself. And you got to hold yourself accountable to it, right? Now, I know not every training fits into that, but if it's a training where you can implement something directly into your business, then make a deal with yourself that I cannot attend another training until I do something with this one, right? All those notes I had, I still have a bunch of them because some of them are just outdated, so I threw them away. But I still have a bunch of those notebooks full of notes. And Ray Higdon, he calls them uncashed checks. And I think that's true. To a large extent, that's true. So you got to get in there and you got to say, okay, why am I procrastinating? What am I afraid of? What are most people afraid of who procrastinate? What are most people afraid of who are perfectionists? Failure. Yes, 100%. Why was it easier to learn than implement? It was safer. It's totally safer, right? I could hide behind my computer. I can feel good about myself because I learned something. And I didn't really do anything, so there was no risk that I'd fail or that people would think I'm an imposter, right? And you guys, anybody ever feel like an imposter? That was big time for me. Yeah, overwhelmed by technology. That's another one. Sure. Yeah. But you got to get through, you got to break it down so that it's so simple that you won't get overwhelmed by technology. And if you have any young folks around who can help you, my daughter, quite honestly, helps me through a lot of my technology challenges. What takes me 3 hours to do, she does in 3 minutes. So if you have anybody around who could help you, if not, is there a local college where you could hire somebody very cheaply to help you out with technology, right? Just giving you some options here. I don't know what your situation is, Susan, but technology, if you let it stop you, that's a shame. I know it's challenging. I get it. I live it, right? Sometimes I get so frustrated with it, but you got to figure out a way around that, right? And that's what, as entrepreneurs, that's what we do, right? We figure out our way around problems. Yeah. Okay, so focus is number one. Implementation is number two. What's the third one? Consistency. I preach consistency. I live and breathe consistency because I truly believe that's the main reason that people don't get results. Okay. You can focus on the right thing and you can implement as much as you can. But if you're not consistent with it, you'll never get into momentum that will drive your business. Right? Think of it like an airplane. I use this example a lot because it's a perfect analogy. If you're on an airplane and you're getting ready to take off and you're sitting at the end of that runway to take off, and you know how the plane comes around and it gets into position and it stops, right? And then all of a sudden the pilot guns the engine and you start moving and you go faster and faster until you hit that critical speed where you can take off, right? What would happen if that pilot kept hitting the brakes? What would happen? You'd never reach critical velocity. Your plane would never take off. But that's exactly what most of us do in our business. We get focused, we do some stuff for a while, boom, we hit the brake. Get going again, get back in the game, boom, we hit the brake. It's stop, start, stop, stop, start. And because of that, we'll never get into momentum because we don't have the consistency. The opposite of consistency, one of the opposites of consistency is complacency. So what do I mean? For those of you guys who have income coming in other than your business, complacency can be a problem. Right now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have other money coming in because I've got a number of different income streams coming in besides my business. But when that happens, you can get complacent because there's a lack of urgency to get things done. There's a lack of urgency to work on your business. There's a I can do it tomorrow mentality that starts seeping in if you're not disciplined enough. When you're high in complacency, you're low on consistency. Okay, so those three, focus, implementation, consistency, are crucial skills. And you can see it has nothing to do with your business in terms of what your model is, in terms of what you're selling, in terms of how you're doing it, what marketing method, nothing to do with it. These are fundamental universal principles, traits, skills, if you will, that you have to focus on, master, if you want to see success. All right, let me catch up on some of the comments here. Overthink my way of doing nothing. Yes, I get that, Chanda. That was me overthinking. How many of you guys can relate to what I'm talking about tonight? How many? Just give me a show of hands or a yes or whatever. Because I'll bet it's most of you guys, right? Because this is all of us. You're not alone. You're not alone. Most of us, 95% of us, we need to do better in one or more areas. Okay. One more thing, and then we'll wrap it up. So, what are you trying to do? What's your goal here? Your goal is to not have a horizontal platform. Your goal is to tip it in favor of focus, implementation, consistency. You want to get as high to the scale of 10 in each of these goals, each of these areas, each of these skills. You want to get as close to 10 as you possibly can. The more you can do that, the more your business will grow. And the steeper your seesaw, the more results you're going to get. Right. So if you can be up to a 9 in focus, a 9 in implementation, a 9 in consistency, you will get more results than if you're at a 5 or a 6. I promise you, that's the way it goes. That's how it always is with my business. And when I see my results falling off, either because of something I'm doing or some external stuff that's happening in my life, when I see these seesaws leveling off, the results aren't coming in as they did before. Last slide, I get a reminder. If this works for you, if again, some of you guys are inundated with trainings, don't add another training to the mix. If this is right for you, there's the thing that I would recommend going to. It starts, I think, in a couple of weeks, which is cool. Gives you a little bit of time. Okay, good stuff. Is that helpful today? It's not rocket science. I think you guys all know what you have to do. I believe that. Most of you guys have been around for a while. Other people having more success than you, right? Who are not smarter than you, right? They don't have anything that you don't have except for success. So why is that? Because they've mastered these skills, right? They've learned how to focus, they've learned how to implement, and they've learned to be consistent. Those people will always be the ones getting success in home business.